Why are we so afraid of change? We, meaning the many parts of me, not you. Change can be so terrifying sometimes. And now with COVID happening, we are being forced to sit our asses down and notice the changes that need to take place. Changes we've intuitively known for a very, very long time. I made some drastic changes in my life this past weekend, which I'm going to share with you in this video, but I also have some really cool tips and tools to share that I kind of use when going through transitions, because life is literally an endless transition. So yeah, we got to approach this with some ease. Check that out in this video right now.
Be less petty with your mind, be less petty with your blame.
What up, world? It's your girl Kellye Howard. Welcome back to my channel, Be Less Petty TV, cause most shit is not that serious. And no matter how terrifying change can feel, it is, in essence, not that serious. Especially when you think about it on a cellular level. Yeah, I've been looking at life a little bit from my nervous system. Having been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I'm paying attention to how things affect how I feel internally. And if you need to change, because your body is telling you you need to change, then you need to change. And that's what I did this weekend when I walked away from stand-up comedy after 14 years. Yes. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that notification button so you get an alert every single time I upload a new video. Yep, I did that. I walked away from stand-up comedy. I don't want to say I walked away, but I definitely announced on the stage that I was not doing shows anymore. And the Chicago Tribune happened to be in the building, and so they recorded it and they put it in print. Yes, it came out online and in the paper on Tuesday, and it just affirmed what I had already been feeling for many, many, many years. This was really scary for me, y'all, to say that I'm not doing stand-up anymore. I've been doing stand-up since 2006. It has been my primary source of income since 2010. I've been doing nothing but stand-up comedy, endlessly. Well, acting and stuff too, but mainly stand-up comedy. And it did a lot of things for me when I was doing it. But what I started to notice during COVID, when I had to sit down and really see comedy for what it was giving me a lot of false validation. It was validating who I was, my worth, people telling me, oh my God, you're funny. Oh my God, you were great. Getting all of that from people all the time was giving me this false sense of self, this confidence that, oh yeah, I'm good at this thing and I'm going to be great at this thing, when in fact comedy was never the thing that I even wanted to be great at. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an actress, and I've always kind of wanted to do that, but I've never even thought twice about stand-up comedy. I tripped into stand-up comedy, and though it was fun, and though I learned a lot of great things, I never quite felt like I fit there. And sometimes our body is telling us this isn't no longer what's serving you. You can move on from this. And when I stepped on stage this past Saturday, that is exactly what I felt. I felt my body saying, you're done with this. You've kind of evolved past this part of your life. It was fun while it lasted. You learned a lot of great tools and techniques, but now it's time to move on. And I want to say that I think that came from my constant writing process. I've been writing for over 1,000 days straight, at least 750 words a day. And I do this because it helps me gain clarity. It helps me understand exactly what it is that's going on in my head, even if it doesn't make sense. Believe you me, sometimes when I write, I say some of the craziest shit and I'd be like, what are you even talking about? But this is inside my head. And it needs to get out, and it needs to gain some type of structure and clarity so that I'm not ruminating on these crazy thoughts per se, thinking that they're somehow a part of me. No, these are just thoughts that's in my head, and I can separate myself from that and try to find out what it is I want to think, what it is I want to feel. And so that's what I was realizing about stand-up comedy. It used to make me feel energized. I would get on stage. It would be everything I needed it to be. The audience would make me feel great. I would walk away feeling accomplished. And though I did great this weekend, the audience loved me, I did not feel energized from the process of stand-up. I felt like what I wanted to talk about was more related to the things I talk about on this channel. I've been doing quite a bit of reading over the last few years. I love to learn and share. And a lot of what I love to learn and share about is typically self-help or self-motivation or self-reliance, that kind of material. I don't think I've ever even studied stand-up or comedy in general. I don't even really watch comedy. I know. I hate to admit all of this, but this is the reality of what is for me. And so knowing that, I had to take a stand and walk away. And it was scary, and it still is scary. Every time I get ready to do a video, I question whether or not I am skilled or validated in this area to be sharing this type of knowledge. But at the end of the goddamn day, yeah, I've lived a hell of a goddamn life, and I have a lot of information to express from, or a lot of learning lessons rather, to express from that life that I've lived. And so, yeah, I am validated. But I may not have an audience telling me, Kellye, go do it. So change can be scary, but we all have the capacity to transition and adjust. In fact, we do it all the time. You went from crawling to walking to running quite naturally because it was just the change that was supposed to happen. But when it's a change that we think is supposed to happen and we're not sure and our body isn't doing it for us, it can get really fucking scary. But I'm here to tell you, whatever changes that you're trying to make, whatever COVID has revealed to you to tell you, hey, get up and do this, then get up and do that. Intuitively, we know. And mind you, I didn't walk away from stand-up this first time as if I hadn't tried to do it before. I tried to do it several times before, but it never quite stuck, and it didn't feel like it would stick either when I would do it. I would say I'm done with comedy, and then 2 days later I would wake up like, am I done with comedy? Why? And the reason being is because comedy had something more to teach me. A lot of the times when we can't let go of something, when we feel stuck and we're still in this situation that we know is not fueling us and not giving us the energy that we desire, it's because we still have more to learn about ourselves, about what we're in, about how to get out of what we're in. Just, we have more to learn. And that is another tip that I've tend to gravitate towards is, what can I learn? What can I learn from this change? What can I learn from this transition? What can I learn from losing mobility in my body a couple weeks ago? Oh, my diet. I need to change that. Boom, learn that. What can I learn? In every single thing that we go through, there is always a lesson. And I love the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I love that saying, but I think we've taken it a little too literally. A teacher doesn't have to be a person. A teacher can be a situation, a issue, a part of your body. A teacher can be life. Everything that life is showing you on a constant basis, and you're sorting and you're sifting and you're saying, I like that and I don't like that. This makes me feel good. This doesn't. Well, if we take heed to that, we can gravitate and lean more in the direction of the things that make us feel good. And doing this and sharing my experiences from my life and just all of the journeys I've lived in my young 38 years, I love that kind of shit. That makes me feel good. Going on stage, trying to come up with things to make people laugh. And usually I'm very personal. So now I'm trying to make fun of my life in a way, and it just doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't feel natural. But I got the stage presence and the ability to articulate and all these things from being on stage for the last 14 years. And that I am very, very, very thankful for. So yeah, please know that change and transitions is a part of life, and you can go through it with ease and grace if you look for the lessons in it. Take time to write and reflect and think about what it is you're going through. If you feel like change is happening, but you're not quite ready, that's okay too. Reflect on why you're not ready, because that will also give you more information to help fuel your ambition to get through that change, whatever that change is or whatever that transition is. So that is my video on change, my loves. I really, really hope that somebody gets something from on this. I hope that it helps you transition to whatever new move you're making in life. And yeah, change is not a bad thing. In fact, it's very good. It's very refreshing, and it can be very insightful for what we need in our next phases of life. I'm your girl, Kellye Howard. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Be Less Petty TV. Turn on your notifications so every time I upload a new video, you get an alert. And I thank you. I thank you so very much for tuning in, for coming back every week. I really do appreciate your presence here on the channel. And let's be less petty together, y'all, because when we get stuck in these menial petty ways, right? When we're being less petty with our time, space, and energy, at the end of the day, our body, hearts, and minds are the ones that suffer. So let's be kinder to that. Yeah, I'm Kellye Howard. Thanks for tuning in to Be Less Petty, and I'll see you here next week. Bye.
Be less petty with your time. Be less petty with your mind. Be less petty with your blame. All that petty shit is lame. Be less petty with your friends. Love first. Make amends. Be less petty with your life. Be less petty with your wife. Be less petty with your